This is your girl, Thalia Sanchez from Bella Vida Inc. Welcome to our podcast, Tattoo Nightmare, episode 12. And for today's episode, we have a tattoo artist named Richie, aka Fatboy 562 Inc. And he will be sharing his worst tattoo nightmares with all of us. So please welcome him and introduce yourself, Richie.
Hello, how you doing? Thank you for having me. My name is Richie, Fatboy 562 Inc. Yeah. Thank you guys again, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So, I'm 40 years old. I'm a tattoo artist and a shop owner of Inkfellas Tattoo Shop in Asbury, California. I've been a shop owner for about 6 years, and I originated in Los Angeles, California. Actually, Norwalk, California, Los Angeles County. I tell a lot of people it's LA. But it's Norwalk. Yeah. It's the southeast part of LA.
It's easier just to say LA because then you gotta explain it.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people do that with like on their bios with tattoo artists from San Fernando Valley.
Yes.
It'll say like LA, and then I look at the address and it takes you to like San Fernando.
Exactly. We just say it's part of LA, but we're like on the edge and stuff. So I just say 818 San Fernando Valley. People tend to know it more like that.
Yeah, no, definitely they do.
Get it. I just say LA. I'm like LA, you guys. Yeah. But you know what? Let's introduce our cups as well. I got Sally and he got Jack Skellington.
Salute. Pinkies up. Pinkies up.
All slow.
But
I did like what you said. Pick your concha that describes you. I'm going to go for the yellow one because it's different, it's unique, and just to make everything coherent over here with brown, pink, and white. And which one are you going to choose?
I'll take the brown one because it's brown and round. That one describes me all day.
All right. That was going to be yours now. You could take a bite whenever you want. If you feel like, you got to take a pause or take a Snicker or take a Twix, you're going to take a concha. Okay?
Right.
That'll help you
out. I was like, where's the Snickers and Twix at? I was looking.
It's right here.
I was like, where they at?
You're like, I need a couple of them right now.
Oh, like a little buffet.
Okay, let's start. Let's dive into your nightmares. You facing Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers, whoever you want. Take me to a place where you had to face any of those nightmares that you had to be like, you know what? I gotta step up. I gotta get out of this nightmare. I gotta fight my own demons, kind of thing.
So the first thing that comes to mind that was a big life changer was I did a good stretch in prison.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I did 8 years in prison, and I say it with a smile on my face because even though it was a tragic time getting taken from my family and from my son, I was able to flip it into a positive time and make the best of it.
Yeah. Wow.
Instead of like letting it beat me up.
Yeah.
And like, what are you gonna do? Cry and sit there and be like, I got this much time for something that I did? Yeah. No, you're gonna flip it. I mean, the best thing to do is to flip it into something more positive and make the best of it. Like, hey, this is what I got. This is what's going on. How can I make it better or how can I make it worse?
Wow. So what were some challenges and nightmares that you had to deal with coming out of jail? Because now knowing that, you're a shop owner and you've been tattooing for this many years, like, what was your journey like from starting from nothing, like you getting straight out of jail?
So I came out really ambitious. I feel like that was God's gift to me.
What pushed you to be like, you know what, f*** this, like, I'm gonna be doing me now?
Well, I done everything bad.
Okay.
So that was like the deal breaker was like, I done everything bad. If I put that much time into my gang and that much time into the streets, into my hood, what could I do now with that time on a positive note?
Oh, wow. So you literally went 360. Yeah. You're like, you know what?
On a good note, though. Like, on a good note, like, I'm well respected in my neighborhood. I'm well respected in the streets. I have a good name out there. Yeah. So now it's like, all right, let's put that aside. Let's deal with my family. Oh. Like, let's deal with, I got my wife that I met when I was in prison. Wow. I have, they're my stepkids, but I don't call them my stepkids. Those are my kids, I've been their father and stuff. And then I have my son that lives down in Montebello in Los Angeles. And I was like, let me take everything, flip it over. I'm at the bottom now. I want to build my foundation up. I got stable foundation. Wow. So now what do I got to do?
Yeah. And, so you decided to not feed your demons anymore. And you decided to, you know what? All this energy I put into that, imagine what I can do if I actually put it in myself, in my environment in a better way. in my goals that you like, this isn't that time to change? It's like a new clean slate coming out.
Yeah, so every day, like when I wake up, like people think like, you know, oh, what am I going to do today? What am I going to do? Yeah. You know, I'm already like, let's get it. Let's go. Whatever it is. If you're like, hey, I got this for you. Let's
go to Vegas right now.
Yeah, well, you hit me up, for instance, and you're like, yeah, that's me too. Yeah. For instance, you're like, hey, hit me up for a podcast. And I'm like, I'm always working. I'm always tattooing. Like, I'm a workaholic. That's all I do is tattoo. People are like, what are your hobbies? I'm like, tattooing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So this is me taking a little bit of time out for myself. Yeah. But I also respect you highly because you're doing something for the community that I now represent. Yes. So I came here to give back to you and your followers.
And to like the tattoo community, letting them know your story and stuff, and you help others, like, in a sense, appreciate your journey and stuff, and you help others also be like, shit, I've been in similar situations that if he could do it, I can do it. So you kind of bring faith to people through your nightmares and stuff, and I think that's a beautiful thing that not a lot of people talk about. It's like how they flip their whole entire life with the choice, which is pretty much deciding to invest in themselves. So what got you into the tattoo industry that made you push and be like, you know what, let me start this?
Well, I didn't start with that when I got out. My mind was set when I was in prison. Oh, so wow. I made my goals in there. Like, people are like, what are you gonna do? Everybody would come by, and every day
they knew you were gonna get out.
Yeah, so, every day I knew one day it would come, so I had to plan. A lot of people plan to go into the union or to do. They're more like hands-on because it's hard to get a good job when you're a felon. You know. So a lot of people go into like union, iron workers, electricians. So people would ask me all the time, like, damn, or my family actually would ask me, like, what are you going to do when you get out? And I'd be like, oh, I'm going to be a tattoo artist. Yeah. And then...
Where they look at you like,
they told me, they're like, so what are you going to do for a living? And I was like, I'm going to be a tattoo artist. So during that time, that's when, like, Ink Masters and everything, and the tattoo life started getting glorified. Well, I started watching them shows, and those were like shows that they might be kind of cheesy, you know, but there's art behind it. There's real artists that are sitting in those chairs getting judged. Yes. And that was what I was looking at. I wasn't looking at all the cheesiness and corniness and black ink crew and them fighting and all that. That was like, they're in a shop. That's a shop. Yes. Like, I was looking at the machines. I was looking at...
you were learning through there.
Like, the Maticide, the green soap. I was looking at all that, like, whatever glimpses of reality that I could catch from inside myself. Mm-hmm. Those were positive influences to me. Wow. That was like, damn, I could be there.
Yes. That's a cool intake that you said, because, like, I know a lot of people are like, how do I become a tattoo artist? But you were already, like, willing to learn. And I think that's the key, is like, you have
still
to be
willing to learn.
Yeah, because you have to always be open-minded, check everything out. It's not about, you weren't even looking about the fame or whatever. You were actually looking at what they were using, how they were creating something. Like, you're in it for the art, you know. And I see that just by you talking to me about it, and like you going through your nightmare, you were still like, you know what, fuck it, even though I'm here, I'm gonna still figure it out how I'm gonna do it, you know. And you found ways, and I think not a lot of people have that mindset. They're like, I'm stuck here, I'm gonna game over, I'm done, you know. I'm a fuck up or whatever they want to think about themselves. But you decided, like, no, this is not on me now. Like, I'm still gonna find out a way to get out of wherever I'm at and find a solution. And you found what you liked, regardless of what people told you or looked at you like.
I told people, like, I found a new love, you know. My like, I don't like to glorify or anything like that, but I love where I'm from, you know, and I love everything about where I'm from. North California made me be this person. It brought me through my struggles in life, and it brought me to here to this day, you know. And I carry it with me, all my tattoos, everything, you know. I love to give back to my community, my family, everywhere. And but I found a new love, like, with tattooing. That's like something that it's taking me to all over the, you know, all over the US so far. And I love traveling behind it. And it just takes me to a whole nother mindset, you know, when I'm tattooing and meeting clients and people. It's just, I'm in a whole nother world, and I love it.
Yes. How did you transition from you being in jail, learning how to tattoo, to outside learning how to tattoo? That's a struggle. What are some of the nightmares that you're like, shit, man, I didn't think it was gonna be like this, or something that you were like, all right, fuck it, let's get it to work, you know?
Yeah. It wasn't hard, like, to get into like a shop or anything like that. It just takes dedication.
Okay.
But one thing that's hard to do is switching from a single needle. Now artists are bringing back. Now all of a sudden stippling, pepper shading, all that's like dope. But I'm like, you know how hard I tried to get my smooth shading with my 23 mags,
that's so funny.
17 mags. Now everybody's
like, those are my struggles. Those are my nightmares.
Yeah, and now you guys are like, all the artists are like, oh, single needle. I did that with a single needle. I'm like, bro, I do that shit with a single needle with my eyes closed all day long. Like, I grew up with the single needle, you know? But now it's like a style, so I like that style. It's cool.
So, did you go through an apprenticeship when you first started?
I did for 6 months.
Okay.
And the thing is that I got out, I was 33 years old, or 32, and it was a little harder because I came home and my wife was working. Yeah. And she was the only source of income.
Oh, okay, got it.
And I'm a hustler, so I'm not going to have my wife sitting there working to pay my phone bill or gas or anything.
So that was a nightmare that you're going through, that you're like, fuck, man, right now the scales are off balance, but you're working in it, like putting your time in it to your craft. So afterwards it's like you're baking it, you know, because then afterwards you could sell it, make money, and do all this thing.
It's worth the investment.
So what was one of the nightmares of you being in an apprenticeship, not knowing anything? And how old were you actually when you started?
I was 33 when I started an apprenticeship inside of a shop.
Wow.
I was in prison from 23 to like 32.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I was 32. So I was there like 8.5, 9 years.
That's cool, because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm too old already, or oh, my time frame already like passed for me to actually start. But I'm like, no, you can start whenever you want, whatever age you want, as long as you have a passion for it and the strive, go for it. You know?
Definitely.
And you're another what is it? You're another what's the word?
Today, Junior.
An example of that, you know?
I was going to say that.
Yeah. But you should have saved me.
I'm like,
I'm over here going through my nightmare.
But I thought that was too easy. So,
You're like, come on, say it.
Yeah,
example. But let me know, walk me through to what nightmares you had to go through, like being 33 and, you know, becoming a tattoo artist. Like, besides, you know, like you were bringing in so much bread to the table. What was some nightmares that you had to deal with, like transitioning into a shop, pretty much?
One thing that bothers me a lot, not that bothers me, but that bothered me at the time, is the hate. The hate because I'm ambitious, and it ain't my fault that other people are lazy.
Got it.
You know, I wake up in the morning and I wake up to grind.
Yeah.
I wake up to let's get it.
Were they trying to slow you down, kind of thing?
They like a lot of people, you know, when they see people with strong character and stuff like that, they like to kick back and make judgments. And I'm not quiet when I roll in. I'm like, hey, what's up, you guys? You know, good morning, this and that. I'm greeting their clients and my clients.
So they took it more of a...
They take it more like, oh, he's trying to push weight on the shop. Yeah. He's trying to push me to the side.
Yeah.
But if it's like that, and step your ass up.
Yeah.
And fucking get yours still, you know?
Like, they don't know.
My language,
no, you're good. Please, perdónalo. I totally understand that, because you have the strive, the hunger for it. Yeah. You want to grow.
I came out to win,
want to learn.
You know? I lost my whole life, like, doing messed up stuff. I came back to win. It's kind of like
you were trying to, like, make up for the time that you were in there. You came out excited. You were like a little kid, like in a candy store, like, what's next? What can I do? And that's actually great to have, you know. Like, and you're right, a lot of artists are lazy, and when they see another person being hungry more for it and they're going for it, they're like, hey, what's up with that? Like, why are you like this? And instead of being like, oh damn, this person really wants it, like,
or let me roll
exactly, let me feed off of that. Let me see through their lens and what they're looking at, and, you know, have that inner child within yourself where it's like, I'm excited to come to work, versus a grumpy cat or someone who's just like, I just got to pay my bills or whatever and stuff. Like, you were actually like, I'm excited to learn.
Yeah, and I would hang out with them, like, teach me what you know.
Yeah.
So that I could apply it. I'm ambitious, but I don't have the art skills that you have. You know, I walk in here, I look at all your stuff, and I'm like, damn, this is amazing. I might be a shop owner, I might have been around, but some stuff I'm lacking. So I'm always willing to learn off of the next person.
Yeah. And you know what? Those nightmares that you went through, a lot of people, especially when they're first comers or trying to become a tattoo artist, they go through that because they're so excited, you know. And not everybody, but some people do go through apprenticeships where they shut them down or dim their light or say, hey, you're being too much, or hey, cut that off, but it's because the people aren't used to having that kind of energy or excitement, or in general, like what you bring to the table might not be arts and crafts in the beginning, but you're giving them a different light source where it's like, hey, be more like a people person, like talk to your people, make them feel comfortable, like let's communicate, because a lot of artists don't know how to communicate.
Yeah, they don't.
Because they've learned to express themselves through art. And I understood that. And I was one of them. But as I started like growing and evolving, I'm like, communication is key. And that's something you have. You're very open to it and you're very verbal, that I could see why people can be like, oh my God, why is he saying this? Or why is he talking like this? Like, oh, that gets me nervous and stuff. But in reality, you're helping them to get out of their shell. Yeah. So it's like a give and take. I think people don't realize, like, just because you're showing somebody to tattoo doesn't mean that they don't have something to show you either. Like, you'd be surprised, like, what people can teach you, even if it's not about artistic or anything. People show you people skills. Yeah. And I think that's what you brought to the table.
Definitely everybody has something to bring to the table.
Exactly. And after that, like, what was another nightmare that you had to face, like, as you were growing into that shop? Or what made you be like, you know what, I can do this on my own?
The biggest thing to do is find somebody that's solid for you. Because a lot of people, I mean, me, I don't look, like I was telling you yesterday, I don't look at what I could take from the table.
Yeah.
I don't look at, when I go into someone's establishment, I don't be like, what can I get from them? Are they going to shout me out? Are they going to give me followers? Like, I don't look for that. I make my own way. I make it happen, If I have anything to give, I try to bless.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people, they, it was hard to like find an owner, that a shop owner that would give you back as much as you gave them. Because when I step into a shop, I'm willing to give up everything for it, whether it's going home late, whether it's taking road trips away from my family. Like, my family, my wife knows what I signed up for, and she backs me at 100%. Like, go get it, go handle it.
Yeah, you had a lot of good support.
Yeah, a lot of good foundation, definitely. It could have been a lot harder. I see what other artists go through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, that sucks to be you.
Yeah. Like, you have to kind of work with what you got and what you did. Like, you could have taken a whole different path. But you decided on your own, this is what I want. And you had tunnel vision, and nothing was going to stop you, pretty much. And I think that's very impressive. Yeah, because a lot of people forget, like, a little bit about themselves and stuff, that they get distracted so easily in other things. But you were like, no. Like, you know how other people listen to what other people think of, like, you shouldn't do this, maybe you should try that. But you're like, no, I'm going to stick to my guns. I want to be a tattoo artist, And even at your age, and even at what your circumstances and where you came from, and where you came out from. There you go. Came out from. So that, like, makes a big impact on you, and why you were more hungry to, like, be successful versus other people that didn't have like a shark behind them, in a sense that they were like, oh, whatever, I could just chill, know. But you were like, no, let me do this, and you found out a lot of, like, struggles within you becoming into a tattoo artist or the tattoo industry and your apprenticeship. I'm pretty sure you went through much more, dealing with other artists and different personalities now, and, like, people who, don't only want to take, and you realize that. Was that something that you were like, you know what, I kind of want to do my own shop? Was that one of the biggest reasons?
The thing that was like, if you had a turning point or a nightmare or something like that, that would be the thing is that I had to notice that, you know what, maybe I need to have my own establishment. When people would walk in the shop that I worked for, they would ask me, like, oh, are you the owner? Because I'd be the first one to greet them. And I'd be like, no, I'm not the owner, but this is the owner right here. And then they were like, oh, you should own your own shop one day. You know, you do really well, and this and that. Like, but I wasn't feeding off of them. Because,
you're just being you.
Yeah, exactly. The way I was brought up was to be respectful.
Yeah.
So
I could see why the other artists were feeling like, are you trying to take my place?
But then again, what place do they have if they don't play their part?
Exactly. Like, I think you realized with other people telling you, like, you should be a shop owner, you start realizing, holy shit, like, I do have the capacity to do this. Like, I do want this, and that's crazy.
I didn't want it. I didn't want to be a shop owner. Not this early in my career. Like, a lot of people may think, like, oh, you're a shop owner, you think you're this and that. You know what? Honestly, I didn't want to be a shop owner. I don't want to be a shop owner, but I do it because a lot of people lack it.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to work in a good shop, and you got so much to offer, and I see that you lack the hustle.
Yes.
Well, you don't lack the art, but you might lack the hustle, or this person might lack. He doesn't know how to promote, or anything like that, and his boss doesn't want to promote him because they don't want him to be busier than they are.
Yes.
Come to me. I got you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All day long, like I got you. Genuinely, it might. And I'm barely starting to charge my artists. Like before, I wasn't even. My rent was low. I remember my rent was just covering the shop itself, and that's all I cared for because I wasn't trying to make money off of the game.
Yeah.
Because I was so young of an artist in the industry, I didn't feel like I had enough to take money from the game.
Yeah.
You gotta give to the game before you can take from the game. And that goes with anything.
Got it. It's kind of like karma.
Yeah, like a karma, you know? You can't come in just... There's shop owners... That's why shop owners then aren't artists, aren't respected.
Exactly.
And I didn't want to be that way, you know?
Yeah. You know what? I love that you pointed out because, I do see a lot of industries taking advantage of artists that are not artists in general, and they open a shop because they see an opportunity, and all they want to do is milk the shit out of artists. Yeah. And then that's when the artist gets drained, or they don't feel comfortable where they're at, so they can't produce art at their top tier or grow because they're so concentrated on survival mode. And when you make a safe environment for an artist, they'll strive not only for themselves but for their shop. You know, it's like a community, and when people don't see that, that's when everything goes downhill. And you saw that. You saw how every person there matters. The type of people, their mindset. You gotta be surrounded with people who are either similar to you or bring something new to the table or whatever. But they have to have that same strive or hunger or end goal, pretty much, which is just to uplift, become better, evolve, stuff like that, you know? But I think you saw that at a young, being young not being young, but being early in the tattoo industry of your years, that people even started noticing it. What was the first step that you did that you were like, you know what, let me try it out?
I opened up my eyes to look for a location.
Oh wow, was it hard?
An accident.
Yeah. It was just memory. It was just a line for you.
I was eating breakfast at a little spot. I used to meet up with one of my friends. He's an artist, and another artist, and we used to meet up in the morning after dropping our kids off from school or to school. And we used to go meet up. We'll start our morning off together. We'll have breakfast, and we'll just talk. He was working at another spot, and I was working at another spot. One day I was eating at a burger stand in the parking lot of like a bunch of stores, and I was telling my friend, like, man, I'm tired of this shop. I want to go look for another shop. I think it's better that I'm able to start my own establishment because it's not working out for me here, you know?
You were dealing with a couple nightmares, small ones, but they were
adding up. It was nothing. It was nothing big, but big enough for me to open my eyes and see that I have more to offer somewhere else, you know? And so he's like, what do you want to do? I was like, well, this morning before I came to meet up with them eating breakfast, I was driving up and down like the main street where a lot of stuff is. And I was like, maybe I would want to set up right here, set up shop. If there's going to be a shop set up and I'm going to be a part of it, I want to be smack dead in the middle, and not off hidden, not in a little corner. I'm just trying to be right there and let's get it, because I have experience with doing stuff like that, but in another, in my past, you know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, well, where have you looked? And we were talking, whatever. I think we smoked a cigarette outside, and I was looking behind me, and I go, man, there's a suite right there open for rent. Oh, wow. It says like Vamp Inc. And I was like, what the hell is that? I never heard of that. Have you? He's like, nah. So we went over and checked it out, looked in the window. And it looked like it was like a microblading studio or something. Oh, wow. So I went next door to the salon and I asked the lady, I'm like, excuse me, is this a place for rent next door? She goes, yeah, actually it is. It's my place. And then I was like, oh, you're renting it? She's like, yeah, I'm the owner. I'm like, oh, wow, how you doing? My name's Richie. Nice to meet you. She's like, nice to meet you as well. I go, could I take a look at it? She's like, yeah, what do you have in mind? I was like, a tattoo shop. And she was like, oh, wow. And we were talking. And then she goes, look, I'm interested, but I'm going to have you come back and meet with the other owner, Angela. Okay. And I was like, all right. So there's two owners. So I was a little nervous. Yeah. I went home. I was chilling. They called me. They were like 45 minutes there. They're like, come in. We want to meet with you. Both of us want to sit down and talk to you. So I told her, like, so I went back to meet them, and it was just me by myself. And I told him, like, I want to introduce you, you know, and I'm going to let you know, like, right off the bat, like, yeah, I'm a gangster.
The way you look.
Yeah, I'm a gangster, but I'm a big sweetheart, you know? I'm a sweetheart, but I'm a protector. Like, you're good, you know? If you got females next door, you guys are good. I'm going to take care of you guys. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, I keep the riffraff out.
Yeah.
I told her, like, I'm just looking for a better life, and this is my starting point, you know, to starting a better life. And she was like, you know what? I go, there might be, like, some gangsters coming by that are tattoos, bald heads, you know, but you're never going to get, like, any trouble here. Yeah. And she goes, all right. She goes, when I told her that, she was like, we happen to like bald-headed tatted guys. And I was,
we actually are looking for stuff.
Yeah. So I remember that, and I was like, hell yeah, you know. And they were like, well, you know what, we're gonna give you a chance.
Oh wow.
And I was like, for real? And they're like, yeah.
Damn.
And I shook their hand and I told them thank you, like, I appreciate it. And that was 6 years ago.
Damn.
She's still my neighbor.
That's
you know, we're
crazy.
neighbors still.
Yeah. That's beautiful the way you walked me through that, because like I actually was with you right there when you were telling me like, oh shit, like, hey, I know how it might look, might not be right, but, and then how you guys just bonded after that, and it's just like, hey, let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That was cool. We established, I mean, it's all business, you know, but we established a relationship where, I mean, she knows I'm her solid neighbor. Yeah. You know, if I need her, I have her. She needs me. Yes. She has me.
You were like give and take and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. What was one of the struggles that you had to go through opening a shop?
Opening the shop struggles.
Or what nightmare that you had to deal with? You're like, fuck, man, I know this is a little harder, but I gotta keep pushing.
A lot of it was understanding what the people, like, paying respect to the people of the businesses around me.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
I didn't even think about that.
Understanding what they went through to get to where they're at. Yeah. And learning how they did it, and then trying to tune it up an extra notch to be ahead of them.
Wow.
Because you can be at their level, but now they're gonna get the same business as you. Yeah. Which is cool. There's enough to go around.
Yeah.
But if you want to get a little bit more business, you have to respect everything that they've done in order to acknowledge it, learn it, respect it, and then take another step ahead.
You know what I noticed with you just by talking with you? You actually like to give respect right away versus demanding it. Yeah. You know how like some, and I feel like in your old the shop that you started at, like they were like demanding it right away versus you're like, no, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give respect first. Like this is how it's taught. And that's the way I see it too. I'm like, I'm gonna give respect to anybody. You know, like obviously if you demand it, I'm like, I'm gonna give you respect, but if you start demanding it, it's way different.
Yeah, you know? Definitely. Especially where my background, where I come from, you know? Yeah. Respect's a big thing. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, whatever. You got respect right off the bat. Exactly. You know? I don't have to be in your house. It's just mutual respect. Exactly. All love.
I feel like that is another key to success. And just living a happier life where it's like, hey, let's have a good time. I don't care what you've been doing or what this and that. Like, I see you as a human being. Let's just be kind to each other. Welcoming and stuff, and that's it. You know, that's all what people want, just to feel welcomed and just to feel like comfortable in their own skin, you know. And I feel like that's what you give a lot, you know, and that's why you have been so successful where you've been at, because you did a lot of self-respecting, not only towards others but to yourself too. And you're like, you know what, I deserve this, I can do this, regardless of like the nightmares or the struggles you're gonna go through. You're like, I'm gonna keep pushing, fuck it, I'm gonna learn, you know?
I learned the rules to the game and I play by them.
Wow.
You know, that's what it is. Like, I was told by other artists, like, if you don't do conventions, you ain't a real true tattoo artist. You're not a true. You might be an artist, but you ain't a tattoo artist. You don't go to the conventions. You don't show your face. You don't go by. You don't go support. You don't do stuff like that. You don't
show love to other people or other artists or in general. Like,
and they told me that an artist that I look up to, I work with them now, Joey Tat Cruz. He told me that. He's like, if you don't go to conventions, if you don't do this, you don't do that. He's like, you ain't a tattoo artist. You're an artist. You're not a tattoo artist. Yeah,
because you gotta get yourself involved with other people and know who you're.
Yeah, know who your society, your community, definitely. Exactly. So I go to like InkCon. I go to InkCon every year. People are like, oh, taking their clients and this and that, and that's cool. I'll take my client like one day, you know, one of my clients like one day out of the weekend. But I always leave my doors open to meet new clients. Yeah. This lady right here, she might be walking through the convention and be like, man, I wanted to go to InkCon. I want to get a tattoo. Yeah. Like, and everybody's booked up. Yeah. I'm like, nah, come here, have a seat.
You balance it off.
I'll take care of you, you know? Yeah. And I give her her experience of what the convention should be like.
Got it.
You know?
Was it a struggle for you to learn how to kind of hire artists? Did you kind of go through that?
Oh, yeah. I hire artists by people. Like, people are like, oh, you should hire artists like this. And I'm like, no, I hire them by the way they are as a person. Mm-hmm. And yeah, your art might be dope. You might be the sickest artist. And I had dope ass artists walk in the shop, or even people hit me up. But if I can't vibe with you one on one, I don't want you in my shop.
Yeah, because then you feel it's forced.
Yeah, I'm good. It's not just about money.
That little rock in your shoe, or that little annoying like scratch you can't scratch. You're like, oh man.
Yeah, it's not just about money. I want to come to the shop and do what I love.
Yeah.
And be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, oh, I better be quiet because if not, I'm not gonna get his rent money.
Yeah.
Screw your rent money, bro.
Yeah.
I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I definitely want solid people around me all the time, and I have a wonderful shop. Like, I have good artists in there. I have people that are, you know, changing people's lives in there that are like,
you pretty much do that to people. Not
even with art, you know, like I have artists that are clicking up with each other, going to church together.
Wow.
Like good stuff, you know, and it's a lot. It's a lot of positivity in my shop. Like I love it.
What are some struggles that you realized as a shop owner that you had to go through that you were like, holy shit, like I didn't know I had to deal with this?
As a shop owner,
did you ever have to fire somebody? Or be like,
yeah,
you know what?
Definitely.
Hard. Was it hard for you?
Yeah, definitely. One of my good friends, you know who you are when you're watching this.
Yeah.
One of my good friends, though, you know,
okay,
I'm like, you're my friend. You're my friend. You're a dope artist.
Yeah.
But you're always welcome here.
Yeah. After
this, but I can't work with you.
Yeah.
And he comes and he kicks it now, and he's about to come back recently.
Yeah.
For like the fourth time.
Yeah.
But he's my friend, you know? And like that's totally different. He has a special place in my heart. You know what I mean? That's my boy. But like we bump heads. You know, he likes to chill. And I'm like, let's go.
Yeah,
I'm like, let's go, homie, let's get it. And he's like, oh, we'll see what's up. And I'm like, no, we'll see what's up, yes or no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I need a solid response right now.
Yeah. Like,
tell me yes or no.
It's not because I'm demanding. It's because I know where I want to go.
And not only that, you build a community already, and like, you want him to have that same like stride.
Yeah,
and stuff,
but not everybody does.
Exactly. And you know what I've learned, and I think this is a nightmare that you're probably going through with your friend, is like never mix friends with business. Yeah. That's something I've learned and stuff. But
they became my friends during business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, through that.
So, it's hard because even just firing somebody in general, like I think people think, oh, you could just tell them to leave. But no, like you think about like their whole life, like, oh shit, it's gonna hurt them. Yeah. You're gonna hurt their feelings. It's not a fun thing to do, to be like, you're let go, you're gone, leave. Yeah.
I learned to not worry about that with certain people because these people are gonna do what they do regardless wherever they're at. And you'll see, and a lot of people that I've let go, they're in the same place that they were years ago when they're at my shop.
Yeah.
I don't worry about it. You know, I wish them well. Their time was here. Their time is over now. I wish them well. You're on your way.
Yeah.
Next up to the plate. Let's see what we can do with you. You know, you come to the shop. I give you everything. The key, the code, this, that, alarms, cameras, whatever it is, all the trust. Mm-hmm. You know, if you want to be scheming through the corners and doing your thing and trying to plot and come up on me, well, the day that you get caught, you know what I mean?
That's true.
I wish you well, too. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those people that I wish well own a shop together now. You know what I mean?
They're like, we stick together.
Yeah, they're so that's the main thing is like people sympathizing for people, you know? I told people like, this is the reason why, this and that, and they're like, but maybe you should overlook it and this and that. I'm like, no. I have the way I set.
To stick your guns.
Yeah, I stick to my guns. If you want to be a sympathizer and go with them people.
Yeah, that's the part of being a business owner. You could have sympathy, but you have to learn how to stick with your guns and be like, no, you know, this is not a great apple, so I can't let it rot everything around that I build so hard for, you know. And you have to have that like foundation where it's like, I gotta put my foot down, you know. And it's like, okay, I can release it now I gotta put my foot down again, you know. Like, so there's times where you have to pull up your pants and be like, I'm sorry, this is not working out. You gotta go, you know? And that's the hard part of being an owner, I would say. Like, you have to go through these nightmares of dealing with artists to see if it works out, if it doesn't work out. And I'm pretty sure now you have a better sense of, like, what kind of person you're bringing in more into your world.
I still roll the dice every now and then, you know?
It's because you have to, because you never know, because you really don't know a person,
but
you know?
Go with your gut instinct.
Yeah.
Straight up, go with your gut instinct.
That's because so true.
You go against it and you're like,
I knew it.
I knew this.
I fucking knew this.
You know, I already knew this.
And you give them the benefit of the doubt and stuff. But I feel like people don't realize that as a shop owner, because when you're just a tattoo artist, you just come in and get out, come in and get out. But I'm pretty sure there's other struggles that you have to deal with, which is, you know, building the walls, like investing in it and stuff. Is there anything that you're like, damn, this is a little harder than I thought, but fuck it, I'm here already?
For struggles like that was just the ups and downs of that's being a business owner, the ups and downs of the economy. Yeah. You know? Yes. So always putting, like, that's a big thing, you know, is worried about that. Like, not worrying, but when it comes, it's like not being prepared. Yeah. You know, a lot of people tell you, like, save your money for a rainy day. Don't just think, you know, in tattoo artists, you get a lot of money. You're just like, it's an abundance of money. And it's like, when that day comes where it's slow, you're like panicking because you don't have it. So, like, word of advice to people, to all the artists out there watching it, save your money for a rainy day. A lot of my
that's a good one.
Yeah, save your money for a rainy day, definitely. So, but
that's actually a good one, because not a lot of people, as quick as the money comes in, they want to spend it all. They're like, oh, this is gonna be like this forever.
Yeah, they start buying everything. Cars, trucks.
I'm all about investing and, like, hey, spoil yourself. But some people, they make it like a lifestyle kind of thing, where it's like, okay, can you keep up that lifestyle though? You know, like, be a little bit smarter. But that's what I've learned. Everybody's gonna learn their own lesson, their own time and stuff. Yeah. You know what? This was such a good conversation that we had about you know, going through your struggles, learning from the bottom, starting all over pretty much at your age as well. Like, you got to give yourself so much credit from what you went through and stuff, because not a lot of people have that same strive that you did, especially you sharing your story with us. And I'm pretty sure it's just a little part of it, you know, like, it goes way more deeper to this and stuff. But just with that, like, I even admire you, because I'm just like, damn, like, if he did this with him going through all of this, like, it's crazy, you know? Like, not many people have that in them to fucking go for it. And sometimes that's all it is. You just have to fucking go for it. No matter your mistakes, no matter how many mistakes you do, no matter if it's a new path or it's the wrong path or whatever, you fucking decided to do it. And that I feel like I relate to you in that way, because I had to do that. I had to find my own path. I had to go against what everybody was saying, even artists and stuff. I'm like, I don't care what you guys think. I'm doing this because it's my happiness. It's my life. I get to do whatever I want. My mistakes are my mistakes. They shouldn't worry about, that shouldn't stress you out. You know, it's my life, you know? My happiness might be different from yours, you know? And you just have to keep going and trust your instinct, trust your path. Just have faith in yourself, you know, and say, Jesus, take the wheel. Not all the time, but fuck it, you know, you have to be like, I just gotta do it. If I don't do it, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, if I'm gonna hate it. I gotta try it out, you know? Yeah. But just to end this tattoo nightmare on a really good note, you guys, I do have a question for you, Richie. And my question is, what advice do you have for people who are trying to open up their own tattoo shop?
Don't do it. No, I'm just kidding. No.
It's too much.
No, don't. No, I would say.
I'm gonna be honest with you, because a lot of people or shop owners try to tell other of their people don't do a shop because they don't want competition.
That's haters. Those are haters.
Exactly. So I've learned that, but I've seen you.
They told me that.
Yeah.
They told me that.
Yes.
Like, personally, they told me that.
And it's crazy because you still went for it. No matter how many years you had under your belt, a lot of people have that, like, you have to have this many years to open a shop. But sometimes you just go through it, you make your mistakes, and you learn from them.
You grow through it.
Yeah,
they say you grow through it.
Yeah. And you are an amazing example of that. Where it's like, hey, don't let other people dim your light or stop you. So tell me, what advice would you give to them?
I would say, if you want to open up your own shop, just gain and gather as much knowledge and information as possible.
Okay.
But if you're an artist, focus on your artwork before you focus on the hustle.
Yeah.
The 100%. Artwork and the hustle will come later.
Yeah.
Just keep your eyes on the prize, keep your eyes open, always set a goal, and stay hungry, stay ambitious.
100%.
You know?
I would definitely like to add where it's like, just focus on you. Stay focused on yourself, on investing in yourself, whatever it is, if whatever makes you happy, you know, and stuff. That'll help you out so much. Keep your cup full, you know, that and flowing like a fucking water fountain, you know, like that'll help you out so much, you know. Just keep yourself in your own lane. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. If you want to do it, go for it, try it, make your mistakes, and keep going and stuff, and learn from them. Thank you so much, Richie, for sharing your nightmare with us and for trauma dumping on us. I'm pretty sure all the chismosas and chismosos here are happy and admire you well. Yeah. Hi. But also, let's cheers to us for our struggles and what we went through and how we survived it. And definitely we just trusted and believed in our own self, you guys. Oh,
damn, I got you guys.
My muscles right here.
This is bomb. What is this, Patron? Or
it's Don a little Julio? Tequila.
Don Julio? So you spiked the tea?
Thank you guys for hearing us out, and see you guys in our next Tattoo Nightmare, episode 13. Bye, guys.
Bye.